continuing our journey through property law in order, in an order that makes sense. Estates and land, adverse possession, landlord-tenant law, non-possessory interests, covenants, and then conveyancing. And we've talked about land sales contracts and deeds. Now we talk about security interests. Real property often carries with it some sort of a security interest, a mortgage on the property, a first mortgage so you can acquire the property, a second mortgage so that you can borrow money on the property. It can be a mortgage, it can be a deed of trust, it can be an installment land contract to acquire the property. We need to talk about all of those things and think about the order of preference among the creditors if a borrower defaults on one of these security interests. That's the topic for today. As always, if the video helps you, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. That will help us with the YouTube algorithm. On to security interests.
All right, now we've alluded to this and we'll talk directly about it now. The whole issue, item number 10, security interests. And this basically completes our circuit on the whole issue of conveyancing. Land sales contract, deeds and delivery, and then finally security interests. Because as Nancy indicated, we all don't go walking around with a couple $1 million in our pockets.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, well, because that'd be pretty bulky, I guess. Anyway, so what do? We borrow the money. And essentially, there are three types of security interests against the property that one may take or have. One is a mortgage, two is a deed of trust, and three is an installment contract. Now, under a mortgage, you're essentially borrowing from a bank. Most people are more familiar with mortgages than the other two types of security interests. And basically, this is a promise to pay the money back. Effectively, a mortgage is a conveyance to a creditor. So in a sense, what you're doing is you're conveying the money owed to a creditor. And it's a device to secure a loan on real property. And if you fail to make your payments, your mortgage payments, then the person who holds the mortgage, known as the mortgagee, is entitled to foreclose. And in a mortgage situation, the foreclosure demands a public sale. The main difference between a mortgage and a deed of trust is that in a deed of trust, the holder of the debt is able to give the deed to a third party. And the deed of trust allows a private sale on default. Now that gives the buyer less protection, so you'd rather have a mortgage than a deed of trust. Finally, in your installment land contract, the seller basically holds on to title until the loan is paid off. And so essentially, seller holds title, says you just give me 10 equal payments, pay me $50,000 a year for the next 10 years, and you'll get title. And these are going to be strictly construed. There will be a forfeiture if you have a forfeiture clause and one payment is missed. So on the real tearjerker, you have 9 payments made by some poor little old woman, and for events beyond her control, she just can't make that last payment, and there's a forfeiture clause. And on the multi-state bar exam, you're going to have to enforce the law, and enforce that clause. Now, when we talk about mortgages and security interests in general, this brings up the issue of foreclosure, and this is an important issue. Now, often a person has more than one mortgage. In fact, that seems to be the rule these days. You take out a first mortgage, and then you take out a second mortgage to pay the down payment, and then you take out another mortgage in order to pay the landscaping. And then, of course, everybody needs a pool, so you take out another mortgage, and then you have trouble making your payments, so you take out a fifth mortgage from dear old mom in order to tide you through rough times. Now there are 5 encumbrances on that property, 5 different mortgages. What happens if the mortgagor, the debtor, the mortgagor defaults? Say the mortgagor defaults on the 3rd mortgage. Well, the person holding the 3rd mortgage can then foreclose. Now here's the rule you have to remember. Foreclosure destroys the junior interests that are given notice, and whoever purchases the property subject to the senior mortgages. So, if you try to sell that property, let's say holder number 3, 3rd in line, mortgage number 3, forecloses, gives notice to mortgage number 4 and mortgage number 5, and they're going to lose their interest unless, of course, they bid for the property, which is a possibility. The property is going to go on the open market. The property will be sold, and it will be subject to mortgage 1 and mortgage 2. So whoever buys that property must pay off mortgage 1 and mortgage 2 in order to have free and clear title of the property. Now remember also that if the forecloser fails to give notice, then the junior interests are not destroyed, but instead the junior interests are preserved, and the junior interests have the right to sue the forecloser, or basically they can go after the land and keep an encumbrance on the land. Okay. Minor point is that if you are a debtor, a mortgagor, then you can actually transfer that debt. And the way you can do that is you can sell the property. You can sell the property subject to the mortgage. If you do so, that makes the land liable, but the buyer is not personally liable. The only way you can get the buyer personally liable is if the buyer assumes the mortgage. Then the buyer would be personally liable. The original mortgagor is also going to be liable unless there's a novation. And then remember also, finally, people that own mortgages, the mortgagee, the lenders, the mortgagees, they can transfer, sell their interest, and that happens all the time. These mortgages are bought and sold on the open market very freely.